Bracy Skills Clinics back with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, man. We're gonna get straight into it. Spurs are 4-2. Great win last night, huge win. They got a little shaky at the end, but it was great to see the young guys bounce back and make plays and come up with a win against another playoff team. So Spurs basketball overall so far through the first 6 games looking pretty good, and I think it's actually sustainable. I mean, the way they're moving the ball, I think they had 37 assists last night. This is the most I've seen the Spurs move the basketball since the 2014 team. They're moving the ball pretty well. I think they're all buying in. They're unselfish. Things are looking great, but that's not making the headlines right now. What's making the headlines is the Josh Primo situation. I haven't been on my phone so far this morning to see if the story actually came out. I don't think the story came out as of yet. But that's not even the point. I know Spurs fans want to know what happened with Josh Primo, but I will say this. This is what I will say to all the Spurs fans that want to know about Josh Primo, and then even all the casual fans that are saying the crazy, crazy things that they're saying about the Spurs because of, what Primo put out as far as like working on his mental health. I'm going to stick with the Spurs fans first. Okay, Spurs fans. I understand we're fans. I understand that Josh Primo has a pretty strong fan base amongst the Spurs fans, right? There are a lot of people that are high on Josh Primo. Okay, so of course we're kind of getting, we're hanging in the air because we don't know what happened with Josh Primo, and I know a lot of people want to, they want to know the real story. But we have to respect the privacy of the Spurs and the privacy of Josh Primo, but we have to respect the Spurs' decision for not wanting this information to become public. Sorry if I'm looking. I'm making sure that somebody doesn't back into my car because you know how they drive back up and they get real close. But anyways, so we have to respect the Spurs' privacy because the Spurs don't want to put a bad rep out on Josh Primo because Josh Primo is still very young and he's 19 years old. And as a 19-year-old, your brain is not fully developed, especially as a 19-year-old male. Studies show that. So 19-year-olds are not going to always make the best decisions. No, I don't know what happened, and no, I'm not sticking up for Josh Primo if the situation is super bad on his part. I'm just saying that 19-year-olds are not going to make the best decisions. So for the Spurs to come out and put out all the details because the fans want to know about what happened is very childish and it's very inconsiderate. And it shows that you only care about what you only care about knowing what happened. You don't care about Josh Primo, the person that has to go out here in the real world and still function and still hopefully have a chance to play in the NBA. But if not, he still has a whole life ahead of him. So let's respect the Spurs' privacy and not wanting to put out the details. Okay, that's for the Spurs fans and in particular the Josh Primo fans. Now, for the idiotic casual fans that I saw last night saying that, oh, well, Primo had mental health issues and all the Spurs did was cut him. Primo was going through some mental health issues and the Spurs cut him. Wow, look at the Spurs organization. First of all, you don't know what happened. Second of all, the Spurs would not cut somebody going with mental health issues because last year, Lonnie Walker and DeMar DeRozan both also went through mental health issues, and the Spurs actually gave them time off. Okay, the Spurs have always given players and coaches the time off that they've needed to recover. So that is not true. We don't know what happened, but I can guarantee you it has nothing to do with just him going through things and the Spurs waived him. There's definitely more to the story. I'm hoping for the best for the kid, but that is not what it is. So casual fans, before you go out and try to make it and bash like the Spurs basically just waived Josh Primo because he was going through some mental health issues, that's also very inconsiderate of you because you don't know what happened and the full story has not been released. And even if it doesn't get released, that is not what happened. Okay, the Spurs have already shown history of working with those that have mental health problems or are going through things. This, I hate to say it, seems like this might be some legal issues with Josh Primo. Primo might have done something illegal. There's no way the Spurs would waive him after giving him a contract extension a few weeks ago and basically grooming him to be somewhat of a franchise player and then waive him. That is not going to happen. There's definitely something going on. There's definitely more to it. But I wish the best for Primo because he's so young and he's very, very talented. Hopefully he gets the help he needs. And, hopefully his situation is not too bad to where we look at him and say, yeah, he'll probably never play in the NBA again. I'm hoping it's not that bad, but I just don't have a good feeling about this one, to be 100% honest with you. But enough of that. I just had to get that out there. But tying back into it, kind of relates to it, but it gets away from the topic wholeheartedly, is Blake Wesley. I've said several times that I was very, very high on Blake Wesley. I felt that Blake Wesley has the length, the size, the athleticism, and somewhat of a skill set to really be a good pro and a good player for the San Antonio Spurs. Now, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to show that in year one. I knew he was probably going to spend some time in the G League, but unfortunately, with the Primo situation, it looks like Blake may get that opportunity, which he did, and he did phenomenal last night. So even though Primo, was set to be somewhat of a franchise player, I just love the fact that we're so loaded with young talent that, sadly, even if Primo situation is bad, we have so much young talent. Like Blake Wesley can step in and do some of what Primo was going to do this year. I'm not saying that Blake has the same ceiling that Primo had, but Blake coming in as a backup point guard and doing a role, yes, he's going to make mistakes, but I think he can fill the void, and I think we kind of saw that last night. He's very aggressive. He's athletic. He gets to the rim. He made some great passes. I don't know if you guys watched the game fully, but there was a play that he made in the second quarter, I believe, where he drove left towards the baseline, got excellent penetration, and he kicked it out. I think it was either to Zach Collins or Doug McDermott. I can't remember quite who, but it was a phenomenal play. Great read, great pass. They missed the shot, but him being able to make that play really got me excited because it's like, man, during the summertime, I don't know if he makes those same plays. So you could tell that the development process has already started with Blake Wesley, man. So we're going to see a lot more of Blake Wesley, and it's going to be sink or swim. There's going to be nights where he looks bad because he's going to go through that slump, but man, he's going to get hands-on experience that he probably wasn't going to get before if Primo was there. But hey, sometimes, man, it said one man's trash is the next man's treasure. That doesn't just apply just to women. That also applies to opportunity. And where somebody may mess up an opportunity, another one can take advantage of. And it's sad with Primo, but I really think Blake Wesley's going to take advantage of this opportunity, and he's going to have the opportunity to really make a mark on this team coming off the bench. I really believe he's going to have a chance to do that. I don't see the Spurs signing somebody to replace Primo or going out to get a veteran. I don't see that. I think they're going to just say, Blake, come in here. You're going to get some time. Let's go through this process. And he did that last night, and he did very, very well. And he was even out there during crucial minutes in the fourth quarter. He hit a big corner three last night, man. I'm loving the Spurs, man. I know everybody want us to tank, but, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of our Spurs right now. They're playing excellent basketball. 4-2. We got another tough one against Minnesota, but, man, I feel like the season is already a success as long as these guys just don't go full Space Jam mode and just forget how to play basketball, because the upside is definitely there from our team. Keldon Johnson, oh my goodness, man, 33 points, 6 threes. Who would have thought he would have more threes than Klay Thompson right now? Man, especially coming into the league when he first came in. Keldon Johnson is looking magnificent, and I still say that people are not talking about Jakob enough. 24 and 12 last night. I'm loving our team, man. I think the Spurs have a chance. I think, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but, man, the style of ball that they're playing is the reason why I'm believing. It's not so much the personnel. It's more of the style. that style is going to work in the regular season because teams are not going to be ready for it, and teams are not going to be able to defend that ball moving the way it's moving. They're shooting pretty well. The Spurs are legit. And when I say legit, I'm talking about playoff bound. They're legit. I think they can keep this up, man. They're playing at a great level. I'm not saying they're not going to hit a slump at some point. I'm pretty sure they will. But if they keep playing this style, they're going to win games. Because defensively, they have the personnel. That's another thing people are not talking about. The Spurs were bad defensively the past few years, especially after Kawhi. Because, we're talking like, remember the times where we had like Bryn Forbes starting at the 2 with a DeRozan out there and LaMarcus Aldridge? Remember that? Remember those days where all three of those guys were in the starting lineup? DeRozan, Forbes, and LaMarcus Aldridge were all starting at one point. And the nightmares we had defensively. We actually have the personnel defensively. We actually have guys that can guard. The NBA is also getting better, so there's going to be nights where, like the Timberwolves game, the Timberwolves shoot 65% from the field. But they have the personnel to defend, from Trey Jones to Vassell. Keldon's become a better defender. Sohan, Jakob, Blake Wesley's going to get after it, I believe, in passing lanes. They actually have the personnel to defend. So when you put that with an unselfish offensive group that is shooting the ball well, I just don't see how this is a fluke. I don't see how this is a fluke. I think they're going to sustain this. So Spurs basketball, Spurs Nation, let's graduate from let's tank. I want to tank. Let's graduate from that and actually embrace what we're seeing right now. We're seeing excellent basketball right now. We don't need to tank. I love Victor. I like Scoot. I even like the Thompson twins. I'm an AAU guy, so I know about all these young prospects. Okay, the Thompson twins, believe it or not, are actually from the Bay Area, where I'm at. I'm in the Bay Area, Vallejo, California, to be exact. The Thompson twins grew up in the Bay Area before they moved out. They played AAU ball in Oakland and Richmond area growing up. So I know all about the Thompson twins, who are projected to be right after Victor and Scoot. So I know these guys. I know these guys can help our team. However, we have a lot of pieces on this roster, and it may not take a Victor or a Scoot level talent to get us back to where we want to be. I'm going to say that again. It may not take a Victor or Scoot to get us back to where we want to be. It may just take years of experience. We shall see. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We out.